Okay. So same as usual, working at your own pace, making sure that nothing is causing pain or discomfort, as in joint pain. Muscular discomfort, entirely up to you. If you feel that you need a little bit of a rest, stop, have a little rest, recover, and then start again when you're ready to pick it up again. If you make sure that you've got the usual prop handy, so a band or a strap, and then a ball or a pillow that I can use to add a little assistance and a little resistance to the movement. If I'm seated, as usual, I'm going to try and find that nice upright seated position. So always think of the belly. If the rib cage falls onto the belly, I'm squashing everything down. So my diaphragm sits inside of the rib cage like a dome. So I can't really breathe properly through the diaphragm. I've got to use my accessory muscles, which are the intercostal muscles, the neck muscles, creating a breath that is not very relaxing. It sends me into a sympathetic state, into like a fight and flight state. I want to be in a nice rest and digest one. So I'm just going to try and create as much space as possible by trying to lift myself as tall as I possibly can, and then allowing space for the diaphragm to be able to descend as I breathe. So I'm going to inhale, think of the belly and the rib cage expanding outwards, and then as I exhale, I'm going to let everything relax. So there is no tension through the chest, there is no tension into the neck, into the collarbones. If I'm lying down, just using the mat to help me support the back. So allowing myself to relax fully onto the mat. The arms are down by the side, the palms are turned to face up and towards the ceiling. See if I can find that nice, rested, relaxed breath. And then at the same time, just doing a quick scan over the body. So am I straight, am I wonky? Is there tension anywhere along the body? Is there any niggle along the body? I'm not changing anything, just noticing where everything is and how I feel to begin with. Then as I feel a little bit more relaxed here, a little bit more settled, I'm going to start focusing on the legs. I'm going to start off with a little up and down. So think of your right leg. I'm going to try and lift the right foot and then drop it back. I'm going to try and lift that left foot and then drop it back. If I need a little support, I might just grab hold of my trousers if I'm lying down, and then see if I can use my hands to help me pull one, and then the other leg. If I'm seated, exactly the same. I can try and see if I can pull up on one, pull up on the other leg. I can use my hands to help me lifting one, lifting the other, just grabbing hold of the back of the leg, if I can reach that far without hunching over, without coming forward. So just a little movement up and down into the hip joint, and then see if I can find the connection into the front of the hip. So feeling the front of the hip flexor twitching, tensing to create that little lift, to encourage that little lift. 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing down, relaxing the leg, relaxing the hip. So I know how the right and the left side feels. I might find that the right was fine, the left was struggling a little bit, or vice versa. I'm going to try and see if I can encourage a little bit more connection into the hip. So if I'm lying down, I'm going to use the ball between the right thigh and the right hand, or both hands if you want to connect the arms to the leg. If I'm seated, I can put my hand directly down onto the leg as I'm closer to the leg. I'm going to push down with the hand and then I'm going to try and pull up on the leg. So this time the leg is not actually lifting off the floor, but I should be able to feel the front of the hip tensing a little bit more. So I'm going to push down with the hand. So with the hand, I'm going to try and keep the leg down. And with the leg, I'm going to try and lift away. And then I'm going to relax. So I'm going to push and lift and relax. Push down with the hand, lift up with the leg and relax. So see if I can focus on that little twitch at the front of the hip. Or see if I can concentrate on it. See if I can try and almost like guide the tension. So it might be a little bit of a intermittent one. It might be kind of like a really almost like a crampy one. See if I can try and control it a little bit more each time. 4, 3, 2, and then last one, I'm going to hold the pressure. So pushing away with the arm, trying to lift with the leg. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Relaxing the hip, releasing the leg. Little rest for that right side. I'm going to focus on the left. So I'm going to switch the ball to that left side if I'm lying down. If I want to use the ball sitting, I'm going to add the ball. And then exactly the same as on the right side. I'm going to try and lift that leg up. And then with the hand, I'm going to try and hold it down. Then relax. And then again, lifting up and pressing it down at the same time. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Last one, I'm going to hold the pressure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and relax. So relaxing the leg, relaxing the hip. I'm going to retest my little walking pattern. So same as I did before, I'm just going to set the hips in a comfortable position, and then I'm just going to start pulling up on the right leg, using that right down, lifting the left, lifting the right, lifting the left. So think of a little walking on the chair, or walking up and down with the feet as you're lying down. Same as before, if I feel that the leg is still very temperamental, I might add a little help. So I might just use the hand to guide it, to pull it up slightly, and then control it back down. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. And relaxing the legs and relaxing the hips. So again, hopefully a little bit better movement, there's a little bit more control right and left. I'm going to try and see if I can make it even better. This time, instead of focusing on lifting, I'm going to try and think of pushing. So keeping the feet on the mat, I'm going to try and push the right foot as if I was trying to go right through the floor. So I'm going to push it down as hard as I can. I'm going to relax. I'm going to push the left as hard as I can and relax. Push the right, relax, push the left, relax. So as I push down, I can feel the leg stiffening. This time the tension is mostly through the back of the leg. I can feel a little tension through the hip or through the quad too. but it's a different tension to the one that I felt before. I'm going to try and go to the opposite tension to see if I can switch on the hip flexor. So I'm going to try and push down with the right, relax, push down with the left, relax, push down with the right, relax, push down with the left, and relax. And then as I keep the pressure swapping from one to the other side, see if you can just be aware of your neck and your shoulders. Am I grinding my teeth? Am I stiffening through the neck? Am I tensing the shoulders? Can I try and keep the upper body relaxed and the tension is just down into the legs? 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and relaxing, giving the legs a little shake, and then I'm going to try and go back into that little walk, but this time see if you can try and encourage the lift by pressing down first. So I'm going to push the right foot down and then I'm going to lift it up, push the left foot down and then lift it up, push the right down, lift it up, push the left down and then lift it up. So see if I can try and find again a better connection into the front of the hip that allows me an easier movement, an easier lift, or there might not be even a lift, but just to see if I can at least focus that tension to that front of the hip. So see if I can get a little twitching onto those muscles, if I can feel it tensing, tightening to try and create that movement. 4, 3, 2, last one, and releasing back, relaxing the hips and releasing the legs. I'm going to give the hip a little rest and then I'm going to move up onto the shoulder. So starting off in a comfortable position, I'm going to get into a little arm raise, front raise. So with the right arm, I'm going to come up to the front. I'm going to lift the arm up and back as far as I can, and then returning the arm down by the side. I'm going to repeat on the other side, coming back, and then I'm going to try the other way. Same as usual, think of a little lift, as something that is not creating stiffness into the shoulder. So as the arm comes up, it's not a massive movement. It's just something that works for my right, and then it's something that works for my left side. The neck feels loose, it feels relaxed. So I might be able to lift very high. I might only be able to move halfway. It depends on your right, it depends on your left shoulder. I'm not forcing anything, I don't want to cause pain. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing down, relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the arms, and then changing the direction of the movement. This time, instead of going into a front raise, I'm going to go into a lateral raise. So I'm going to swing the right arm round the side, and then I'm going to bring it back in reverse. Then the left does the same, nice big swing around the side, and then coming back. So think of a nice big wave. So I'm just going to wave my right arm, and then release it back, and then wave in the left, and then easing back. So from side to side, again, playing with the position of the hand. So especially if you can hear that the shoulder tends to click, it normally clicks exactly at the same point every single time. So if I want to try and get rid of the click, as I get close to the point, I'm just going to play with the position of my hand and then see if I can find a better combination between the top of the arm and the shoulder socket that will get rid of that click. So create a slightly smoother lift. 3, 2, last one, and releasing back, relaxing the shoulders, giving a little roll to the shoulders, to the arms. I'm going to try one more time. This time I'm going to try and bring the two movements together. So I'm going to turn into a little bit of a circle. So I'm going to start with the right arm. I'm going to bring it up to the front, reach it back, and then to come back, I'm just going to circle around and then come back to my starting position. With the left, the same. So I'm going to come up to the front, and then a big wave around the side to come back down. And then onto the right again. So if you're seated, see if you can think of using as much space as possible. So if I feel that my shoulder is okay, my back is okay, my neck is okay, I might make the movement really big by turning to open up that circle. If I feel that there is discomfort, I'm going to stick to a smaller circle, a smaller movement. If I'm laying down, using the space that I've got, obviously taking into account that my back is on the floor, so I can't go backwards with the arm. I can only go sideways and come back to the starting position. 4, 3, 2, last one, and releasing down. Again, giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll, relaxing the shoulders, releasing the arms, and then I'm going to finish off reversing the movement. So it's the same shape, but I'm going to draw it in reverse. So I'm going to start with a big swing, a big wave to the side to come up, and then I'm just going to let the arm come down at the front. So big wave to come up, and then I'm going to let the arm come back to the front again. So the neck is still loose. I can turn the head around. I'm not stiffening. I'm not gripping. I'm not tightening up. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and releasing back. Relaxing the shoulders, the same as I did for the hip. I'm going to give a little rest to the shoulders as well, and then I'm going to start working on the back. See if I can focus on the lower back. So see if I can try and get some movement down into the lumbar spine. I'm going to start off with a little pelvic tilt. So think of slouching. So I'm just going to let my hips roll back and then rounding the lower back. Imagine to be squashing the belly. So I'm just going to let my rib cage drop onto the belly. Then I'm going to do exactly the opposite. I'm going to try and come up onto the seat bones, and then lifting at the back of the pelvis and lifting at the front to see if I can try and open up again at the front. Then again, I'm going to roll back onto the tailbone. I'm going to close the front, and then I'm going to try and lift and open it again. And then I'm going to try again. If I'm lying down, think of use the mat to guide you. So I'm going to go for a little pelvic tilt. So I'm going to tilt the pelvis back, flattening the lower back into the mat, and then forward and back into neutral. So tilting and releasing the tilt. So think of a nice, easy rocking movement. I'm trying to massage, I'm trying to relax the lower back and the back of the hips. I'm not creating tension, I'm trying to ease off the tension that might already be there. 5, 4, three, 2, 1. Easing the hips back to the center, and then this time from a forward and back tilt, I'm going to go into a little hip hitch. So still working on releasing tension from the lower back. So I'm going to hitch the right hip towards the right side of the rib cage. I'm going to pull up on the right and then left to the left. So again, if I'm lying down, the pelvis should stay flat against the mat and just gently rocking from one to the other side. Feeling the side of the belly tensing to create that little pull up on the right, that little pull up on the left. See if you can be aware of the legs are staying relaxed. So I'm not pushing with the legs, I'm trying to pull with the belly. If I'm seated, exactly the same. A little bit harder because I'm working against the gravity, but imagine to be taking the right seat bend off the chair, then I'm going to drop it back into the chair and then trying to pull up on the left and then drop it back into the chair again. So feeling a little bit tightening on the right side as I pull up on the right, and a little tightening on the left side of the belly as I pull up on the left. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release it back. Using the hips back to the middle, adjusting the hips if I feel that I've gone a little bit twisted or a little bit out of neutral, a little bit wonky. And then staying on the lower back, I'm going to go back into that forward and back tilt. But see if this time you can imagine to be pulling, not with the all of the front of the belly, but just with one side. So I'm going to try and tilt the pelvis back, but just focusing on my right side. Then I'm going to ease back, and then I'm going to pull with the left. So the movement will be slightly uneven more. It will be uneven right and left side. As the right side is pulling, the left side is still pretty much relaxed. Then I'm going to come back into neutral, and then as the left side is pulling, the right is trying to stay relaxed. Back into neutral, I'm going to tilt with the right, back into neutral, tilting with the left. So see if I can go back into the forward and back tilt, but this time see if I can just to be aware of the tension on one side mostly. And then the same if I'm lying down, think of rolling just the right side of the pelvis up. Then I'm going to relax it, just the left, then relax, just the right, then relax, just the left, then relax again. 4, 3, 2, 1, and release it back to the middle. Again, adjusting the hips so the lower back hopefully feels a little bit looser, a little bit more supple. I'm going to move up into the thoracic, into the upper back, starting with a little rotation. So if I'm laying down, I'm going to reach the arms to the front, and then I'm just going to start swaying from side to side, rolling from shoulder to shoulder, turning the other way. If I'm seated, I can have the arms to the front, or I can just cross the arms onto the chest so that the shoulders can stay a little bit more relaxed. And then just I'm trying to get little rotation from side to side. So imagine like an old screw, so it's a little bit rusty. So I'm trying to get it loose as much as possible with that kind of like side to side movement. So imagine your torso to be the screw, and your hips are to be like the hole the screw is stuck into. So see if I can try and gradually ease off with some of that stiffness and some of the tension, and then create a better movement from side to side. And then as you keep the movement going, you're feeling a little bit more relaxed. Just notice what the tension is. If I can feel tension into the neck, as I'm turning, I'm probably shrugging my shoulders up to my head as well. So see if I can be aware. Can I keep the shoulders down? Can I keep the chest lifted? Can I keep the neck nice and long? So can I keep it smooth or can I keep relaxed as I'm moving from side to side? 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and releasing back, returning your way back to the center. So I feel a little bit looser in rotation. I'm going to keep working through the thoracic spine, but this time I'm going to go into a little lateral flexion. So the opposite that I did to hitch the hip, instead of trying to pull the hip to the ribs, I'm going to pull the ribs to the hips. So I'm going to pull down on the right, come back, pull down on the left, and then come back. So if I'm seated, I can let the arms dangle. I can rest them on the legs. It doesn't really matter. If I'm laying down, I might want to support the head with one hand. So making sure that the neck is not straining. So I'm going to place one hand to the back of the head. And then as I flex to the side, I'm going to carry the head that way. Coming back and then switching side, moving the other way. So same as you did for the hip hitch. This time, concentrating on the tension coming down the side of the belly, but instead of going upwards, this time is going downwards. So it's trying to pull the rib cage to the hips. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and releasing back, returning the shoulders back to the middle, adjusting the shoulders, adjusting the head and the neck. And then I'm going to try one more time, this time going into flexion extension. So imagine to have, I don't know, a pointy finger pressing against your breastbone, and then one pressing against the middle of your rib cage, the middle of your back. Imagine the pressure increasing with the finger that's pointing at the front. So it's pushing on the breastbone so that my back is going to round to avoid that point to go through my breastbone. And then in turn, the one at the back is going to push me forward. And then I'm just going to extend to avoid that pointy thing to get into my back. So from the front, it's going to encourage me to round the shoulders and the upper back. And then from the back is going to encourage to extend and lift. So front and back. So if I'm seated, I've got a little bit more range, front to back. If I'm laying down, I'm obviously limited with the range that I've got, but I can still do some movement, especially if I feel comfortable enough. As I extend, I'm going to send my rib cage up to the ceiling, but as I flex, I'm going to also lift my head off the mat. Then I'm going to extend again, and then I'm going to flex. 3, 2, last time. And releasing back, returning the shoulders, the upper body back to the center. And then to finish off, I'm just going to go back to that rotation, see if the movement feels maybe a little bit easier, a little bit freer on the back. So sticking the arms to the front, I'm going to start to swinging gently from side to side. If I'm lying down, if I'm seated, same position that I used before, so crossing the arms onto the chest or bringing the arms to the front. I'm just going to see if I can get the rotation going from side to side. So hopefully feeling it a little bit looser, a little bit easier as I'm moving. Doesn't feel so stiff, it doesn't feel so tight. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Returning back to the center. And then I'm going to see if I can now use the spine and the arm together. I'm going to get into a little stretch. I'm going to stick the right arm to the front, and then with the left hand, I'm going to hold above or below the elbow joint. So not on the elbow, so I don't want to put a lock into the arm. I don't want to create pain into the elbow. And then once that I've got that hold onto the arm, I'm going to pull the arm nice and close to the front of the chest until I can feel a little stretch going behind that right shoulder. So I'm going to pull it close as if I was trying to hug it close to the chest. And then see if I can go a little bit deeper. I'm going to turn slightly to the left and then see if I can go a little bit deeper into the stretch. Holding it steady. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and releasing back, relaxing the shoulder, relaxing the arm. Try the other side. So I'm going to extend the left arm to the front. With the right hand, I'm going to hold again above or below the elbow joint. I'm going to hug the arm nice and close to the chest until I can feel the stretch wrapping around that left shoulder. And then taking the arm close to the chest, I'm going to rotate slightly to the right this time, encouraging a little bit more of a stretch. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back. Giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll. So there's a little bit of stretch to the back of the shoulder. What I want to this time is to create a little bit of a stretch going over the top of the shoulder, but mostly into the side of the neck. So I'm going to focus on the right arm again. I'm going to reach the arm down the side as if somebody would grab a hold of my arm and was trying to pull it down. So I can feel the shoulder dropping. Now I'm going to move my head in the opposite direction. So I'm going to try and bring my left ear to my left shoulder. So I can feel the stretch going from the shoulder up into the side of the neck and towards the ear. Without forcing, I don't want to cause pain. Now, play with the position of the hand, keeping the arm longer, so still reaching down the side. I'm going to extend the wrist. So imagine to be taking the back of your hand towards your forearm. Just a little bit more intense stretch now. And then see if you can start turning the arm slightly out or slightly in. See if you can change the position of the stretch just slightly until you feel that it's coming right down the neck and then over the top of the shoulder. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and release. Returning the head back to the center. I'm going to try and release the same, but to the left side. So reaching the left arm down the side. Feel the shoulder dropping away. Right ear to the right shoulder. Little stretch coming down the left side of the neck, over the top of the shoulder, extending through the wrist. And then playing with the position of the hand, rotating it out, rotating it in until you feel that you've got a nice good stretch coming down that side. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back. Returning the head back to the middle, giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll. So it's a little bit of a stretch to the top of the shoulder. This time I want a little stretch across the front of the chest. So grab a hold of your band or your strap and then swing the strap behind your back. So if I'm laying down, I'm just going to switch, put the band behind the hips or behind the lower back. I'm going to hold the hands roughly by the side of the hips, or by the side of the bum. And then there I'm going to try and reach the arms nice and long down the side. If you're seated, think of pushing your hands and your shoulders to the back wall. So I want to try and open up across the front of the chest. If I'm lying down, think of pushing the arms to the ground and then trying to drive the chest and the hips up and away. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and releasing back. Relaxing the shoulders, giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll. Hopefully a little bit more range into the shoulder joint. I'm going to go back into the hip and then I'm going to repeat a similar kind of work through the hip joint. So first the thing is trying to get the stretching into the stretch into the inside of the leg. So I'm going to shuffle the feet nice and close together, and then I'm going to let the knees open out to the side. So letting the legs flop out towards the mat. So if I'm laying down, I don't need to do anything here. I can just use gravity. So let the weight of the leg pull down and towards the ground. If I'm seated, unfortunately, gravity is not going to work with me. So I need to find my strength. So I'm going to push out with the hands. See if I can try and get the knees to pull away from each other. See if I can create a gentle release, a gentle stretch going to the inside of the right to the inside of the left leg. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back, relaxing the hip, relaxing the leg. From the adductor, from the inner thigh, I'm going to move into the side of the hip. So I'm going to keep the left leg relaxed. I'm going to cross the right leg over the left. So if I'm seated, I'm going to try and see if I can bring the leg over, to cross one over the other. With the left hand, I'm going to hook around the knee or the thigh, and then I'm just going to pull the leg across until I can feel the stretch. If I find that I can't get the leg to stay there, it just doesn't want to go there, I'm just going to reach across and then I'm just going to pull both legs over to the other side. So there's a little stretch into the hip, a little stretch across the back. If I'm laying down, I'm just going to lift that leg up and then pulling it across gently with a hand until I can feel the stretch down the side of the hip into the side of the bum, keeping the hips as close to the floor as possible. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back. Relaxing that leg, repeating on the left side. So I'm going to move my right out of the way, curling the left in, crossing over to the left. So hooking that left hand, the right hand around that left leg, left knee, and then gently pulling the leg across until I can feel the stretch coming down the side of the hip, the side of the bum. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back, relaxing the leg, releasing the hip. And then I'm going to try one more time, this time see if I can get front and back working together. So bending the knees, walking the feet up into a G. If you're lying down, we're going to push up into bridge, driving through the back of the bum. I'm going to lift the hips, the lower back, the back of the rib cage until I'm up onto the back of the shoulders. And then I'm just going to ease my way down. If I'm seated, I'm going to lean forward over the legs slightly, little support with the hands resting on the chair if I need to, and then shifting the weight forward into the legs. I'm just going to try and see if I can get my hips off the chair or lighter on the chair, and then I'm just going to sit back down again. So I'm going to come forward as if I was trying to stand up, and then I'm just going to rock back and then ease my way back down. So forward, trying to stand, and then pushing back. So think of a little tension working front and back of the leg, a little tension at the front of the belly, offering support as I'm moving forward, as I try to push up. 3, 2, last one, and releasing back, giving the legs a little shake, relaxing the hip and releasing the legs. When you're ready, if you're lying down on your back or rolling over onto your side, and in your own time pushing yourself up into sitting, finding your comfortable seated position. And so same as we did at the beginning, see if I can find the space at the front of the body. The shoulders are relaxed, the chest is open, the chin is lifted. Using the arms to support, leaning against something if I feel that I need a little support to be behind me. And then as I feel a little bit taller, a little bit better in that seated position, see if I can start opening that front line. So I'm going to take a deep breath in. I'm going to push the chest forward. I'm going to lift up, throw the shoulders back, let them drop down. Looking forward, looking up, looking back. And then I'm going to release. I'm going to let the chin come down to the chest, the shoulders forward. I'm going to round my way forward as far as I feel I can go. And then up in reverse. Opening up, lifting as much as you can, sending the chest up to the ceiling, looking forward, looking up, looking back. And then relaxing, coming forward, allowing the head to drop, the shoulders, the back to relax. Last time. Extending up. So lifting and opening as much as you can, looking up, looking back. And releasing back to the front. One hand to the belly, one hand to the back. Take your bow. Give yourself a clap. Any question or anything as usual, please say. Remember, you need to unmute yourself.